Good morning, everyone. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you all to the opening session of International Symposium on Analytical Hierarchy Process 2024. This year, we gather under the inspiring theme, Enhancing Advanced Decision Making with AI. First and the foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the participants and presenters, organizers, and sponsors who have made this symposium possible. It's a theme that emphasizes the remarkable interaction of human ingenuity and artificial intelligence, putting the boundary of innovation in decision science. So we will explore the frontiers of creativity in decision making. So get ready for an inspiring and informative experience. This is me, Mizna Rahman, and I'm honored to be chairing this exciting session today on the topic Enhance Decision Making with the AI. We are committed to ensuring that today's session runs smoothly and provides insightful discussions. I encourage all of you to actively engage during presentation. Feel free to ask any question and you can share your thoughts. This is a great opportunity for a rich discussion. So don't hesitate to interact with our presenters and dive deep into the fascinating work that they are sharing today. Just overview of time management as we move through the session. I would like to kindly remind our speakers and audience of the time structure. Each presentation and presenter has 10 minutes for their presentation, followed by 5-minute question and answer session. To ensure that all speakers have equal time and we stay on schedule, I will give a gentle reminder at the 10-minute mark for the presenters to begin wrapping up their talk. For audience, please reserve your questions for question and answer segment, and feel free to ask concisely and focused questions to allow for a dynamic discussion. And I just thank everybody for their cooperation and help us maintaining a smooth and engaging session. We are honored to have three distinguished presenters who will be sharing their research on how AHP and AI intersect in real-world application. So these three are our presenters, Dr. ISAHP2024 and Dr. Markin and Dr. Lewis. Let me just quickly introduce our first presenter. Our first presentation is titled Relative Importance of Factors Impacting Electric Vehicle Charging Station User Experience and AHP Application. And it will be delivered by Dr. ISAHP2024. Sorry, I couldn't pronounce your surname.
That's
Who
totally fine.
represents Istanbul Technical University. Dr. Elvin is joined by two co-authors, and their work dwells into the critical considerations shaping user experience at electric vehicle charging stations. By applying the AHP process, this research will be presenting offers valuable insights into prioritizing factors for enhancing these rapidly expanding facility. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Elvin to the stage. Dr. Elvin, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Can I share my screen? And
Yes,
thank you for
please.
the lovely introduction. So since you already mentioned about the title and about the main topic, I'll start directly with the concept of user experience. But actually, before doing that, I would like to emphasize why we selected that topic. In the last decade, we've seen an increasing support by the governments for the usage of electric vehicles. So countries, also Turkey, have been providing incentives for users to buy electric vehicles instead of combustion engine vehicles. That was mainly because of the concerns for climate change. But it's also been shown in the literature that one of the main factors impacting users' decision on switching to electric vehicle usage is their perception about the charging opportunities, meaning if they think that charging is accessible and simple, they are more inclined to do that switch to electric vehicles. But also, I mean, not only the widespread expansion of the charging infrastructure, but also the experience people have with charging impacts the adoption decision, electric vehicle adoption decision. So we use the term user experience in the previous sentence, and now I would like to briefly explain what user experience is. User experience refers to the experience of the user when interacting with a product or a system or a service. So when we talk about a good user experience, we actually think about how relevant, how pleasing, how meaningful that interaction with the product or service or system is for the user. And also user experience includes a wide variety of aspects related to the interaction, like, for example, functionality, whether that product or service meets the needs of the user to accomplish their goals, or usability, like whether the user can easily accomplish their goal, or aesthetic, whether the design of the product is aesthetically pleasing, and also the feelings experienced by the user are also included in the definition of the user experience, like was the experience joyful or satisfactory, enjoyable. All those are also included in the definition of the user experience. So if the experience of the user is positive across multiple dimensions, then we can say that it makes it more likely for the user to adopt that product or service, and it's also more likely that that person continues with the usage, meaning their loyalty is increased. So in short, we can say every new technology needs to offer both a good user experience and a good usability as part of that to guarantee its success with customers and in the market. So the literature about user experience on charging station is still limited. The number of research has been increasing in the last couple of years, but the focus is mainly on the stations built in the northern and central European countries. But still, that limited research suggests that user experience has a long way to go in terms of charging stations, meaning the levels of user experience is not satisfactory yet. So considering that maybe there may be some cultural differences in the importance given to the user experience factors, we thought that studying the Turkish electric vehicle users' perspective in terms of factors impacting user experience can also contribute to that literature. So for that, we developed a single level AHP model with the good charging station user experience being the goal, and the level has the criteria impacting user experience. And we determine the criteria based on the literature review. In total, we end up having 9 factors, which we are going to see on the next slide. And then to collect the user judgments, we prepared a pairwise comparison questionnaire, which was administered online via some social media groups where the users of the electric vehicles come together and discuss about the topic. And here are the 9 factors we have determined. The first one is ease of use, which refers to the hardware and interfaces being easy to understand, straightforward, and simple to use. The second one is environmental friendliness, referring to whether the charging station provides power from sustainable energy resources. Convenience refers to the facilities which are aiming to provide comfort to the user during the charging process, like resting rooms, restaurants, grocery shops, etc. Functionality is about the features such as compatibility with different vehicle models, fast charging devices, and various charging connection options. Pricing refers to how budget-friendly the pricing at the charging station is, and price transparency refers to the awareness of how much one will be charged for the service. Availability is about the presence of available spots at the charging station when needed. Accessibility is about the location of the charging station, meaning whether it is on routes which are frequently used by the user. And power reliability refers to the reliability of the power supplied by the station, ensuring that interruptions during charging or failed charges due to technical faults or operating errors are avoided. So in total, we obtained 54 surveys, but only 45 were complete to be included in the analysis. And only 5 of the 45 respondents are living in a city other than Istanbul. We use the geometric mean method to aggregate the judgments, respondents' judgments, and also we check the consistency of the judgments. The inconsistent ratios were all below the 10% threshold. On the questionnaire, we also asked about the duration of the electrical vehicle ownership. And according to the answers, we divided the respondents into 3 groups and named them accordingly. Novices are people who have an electric vehicle for 1 year or less, and that group included 9 users. Familiars are people who own an electric vehicle more than 1 year, but less than 5 years, and that group consists of 19 users. And knowledgeables are people who owns an electric vehicle more 5 years or more, and that group had 17 users. So here you see the results, I mean the relative importance of all criteria. The first one is calculated for all respondents, and then the other 3 are indicating the groups I just mentioned previously. Let's look at them a bit closer. So in general, the 3 most important factors affecting user experience at electric vehicle charging stations are pricing, ease of use, and accessibility, indicating that while people still want to pay less, they also want the hardware and also the interfaces they interact with during charging process to be easy to use. Since accessibility is also important within the top 3 factors, we can say that they also don't want to go out of their way just to charge their vehicles, or they prefer stations on their route or close to their destinations. So if we look at the results based on the groups, we can say that for novices, pricing is by far the most important factor with a weight of 28.5%. But pricing again remains within the top 3 factors for other groups as well. So one key reason that people switch to electric vehicles is to save on fuel costs. And users may be willing to save more at the beginning because they paid more for the electric vehicle, usually electric vehicles cost more compared to their combustion engine counterparts. So they paid more for the electric version of the car and made that decision with the expectation to save on fuel costs. Hence, they put more importance on pricing, especially at the beginning of the electric vehicle ownership duration. That may be the reason. And apparently pricing lose its importance in the driver's eyes. So you can see the change in the groups for familiars and knowledgeables. So we can say it loses its importance with time, as probably users' decision to switch to electric cars pays off financially. And for ease of use, I mean, as ownership duration increases, ease of use becomes the most important factor. So if you look at the novices group, ease of use has a low priority. However, it's the top important factor for familiars and knowledgeables. So in Turkey, electric vehicles consist about 1% of all vehicles, which indicates that we are still in the early phases of the electrical vehicle adoption. That also makes the users early adopters. And in the literature, it's been said that early adopters are usually more willing to tolerate the inconveniences experienced with the technology, just for the sake of experiencing the technology. However, probably that newness of technology wears off with time, and with time, users probably would expect more smooth interaction or simple interaction from the service system or the product. Hence, the increased importance shown within the familiar and knowledgeable groups for ease of use. Accessibility and convenience remain among the top 5 factors for all user groups. We have talked about accessibility, but convenience, convenience being among the top 5 factors indicates that for users, having the facilities, maybe just to meet the biological demands like restaurants, restroom, etc., or just to do some daily mundane tasks like grocery shopping is also important. And if we look at the results, we see that power reliability and price transparency are consistently rated as less important across all groups. So maybe for power reliability, that may be the reason, because but most of the users haven't yet experienced any charging problems yet. Maybe if we increase the number of people, the rating for that factor may change. And price transparency doesn't seem to be a concern for all users. As a limitation for our study, we did not ask users how often they use public charging stations or whether they have charging solutions at home or at work. These factors can impact users' perspectives on what aspects their users experience. For example, if a person has a charging solution at home or at work, accessibility and availability can be less of a concern for those people. So that is a limitation for our work. And also, as future work, we plan to station operators believe is important for UX, user experience, and to see whether their perception overlaps with the real electric vehicles users' preferences, which we just saw. And that's all from me. Thank you. I just rushed through. Hopefully it was understandable.
Thank you, Dr. Elvan. It was a great presentation, and you presented it very well on the
Thank you.
topic so relevant to our evolving transportation infrastructure. And your work sheds light on factors that will shape the future adoption and success of vehicles, specifically electric vehicles. So we will move on to the discussion session. If any of the participants have any question, you can please go ahead. Do we have any question from the participants?
Yeah, I'd like to ask one if you don't mind.
Yes, yes, please.
Asa, I think your last point was spot on, and I'm wondering, and that point being whether or not the reality matches up with the perception, right? Because when we're doing this, we're asking for their perception of ease of use, convenience, et cetera, et cetera. How do you anticipate that you could measure the reality to compare it with that perception?
Actually, I mentioned that the charging stations are designed by the operators, and operations are managed by the operators, and they do that according to their perception, what the user is expecting. So we took the picture of the perceptions of the real users, and now we aim to do the for the operators so that we can see how much they overlap.
Matching up both the supply and demand side. I love it.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you so much for your question. That was a really interesting question and a very satisfactory answer. Do we have any other question from other participants? I know, I think so. I have a just quick question. Were there any surprising results or factors that you were not expecting, but were significant in these observations? And what do you think what influence it can have on the design of future EV charging infrastructure?
Actually, one output, I mean, the result of the research was that for the novices, the ease of use was not that much important. I mean, I tried to explain that result, but when I first see that result, it was really interesting for me. And so we see that with time, ease of use of the devices and the interfaces with which the users interact becomes the top factor which affects the user experience. And if the operators acknowledge that, then probably they would change the design of the charging stations for the better solutions, let's say so.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you so much. Thank you for your
Thank you.
views.